We've got Jules, who's sporting... What are you sporting there, Jules? Jules, what are you sporting? No, turn around. Look at this awesome t-shirt. I can't believe, where would he get something amazing like that from? He's going to be working on his van today as well. So I'm going to help him get started with his insulation, which we've got the shredded plastic bottle insulation, which is this stuff. We got it from B&Q. It's recycled plastic loft insulation, made from recycled plastic bottles. Itch-free. Yeah, it actually is a pretty good R value. It's a pretty decent insulator. So we're going to try this out, see how it goes. No, I've got mine just there. But we've got to have important coffee moments now. So I bought this the other day and it's been in non-stop use, so coffee was obviously needed. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen! Now, Jules and Josie have made their van look like a sheep. Well done. Right, they've added all this recycled plastic bottle insulation, and it actually looks pretty legit. Like it's we haven't had to condense it into these gaps, and it is filling the space really well. This is the reason why I like this sort of, I keep saying wool style insulation. It's because it's like this just sort of this fluffy, this more like fabricy, not like the stiff board insulation, because you get like situations like this where cutting a piece of board and then slotting it in there, you're never going to find a piece of board and slot it in there. You have to do it in like little sections so that it actually fits the space. The wool, yes, it's not as effective as the board, but it will fill more of the space, I think. And I think I'd rather have, I mean, yes, you could do these larger panel areas in the board, and also there's less like cut off and waste and everything like that. And it really is as easy as that, boys and girls. Just remember that with this sort of style of insulation, which I have in the past done on one of my videos, in that I've like put it on and like used the ply to hold it in there, but almost compressed it. If you compress it, it loses all of its insulating properties. This stuff is all based on trying to trap that air to provide that barrier. So make sure that when you get the insulation, you check the thickness of it when it's all like puffed out and released itself a bit, so that it's like, for instance, you don't want to, if you've got a 10 centimeter gap, thinking that you see like a 20 centimeter thick roll and a 10 centimeter thick roll, and you think, actually, if I get the 20 centimeter thick and just jam it in there and compress it all in, I'll have better insulation. You will in fact have a lot worse insulation. This is Jules's bed. What we're gonna, well, I say half of his bed. Basically, use the OSB. We've got 18mm OSB in there. And as you can see, he has mitered the edge, so it's at 45, and we're going to have another piece exactly the same but flipped over, and it's going to slide out. We're going to raise up these tracks on the side here, and the piece of OSB is going to slide off there, and then the two 45s are going to mesh together to make it like one solid sheet of OSB, and that will fill the whole bed area. I hope that makes sense. We've got the mattress over here. And yes, I know to a lot of cabinet makers they're going to cringe, but we've gone for a super strong CLS style structure for the kitchen. This is strong, we're going to make it modular. There's a lot of advantages to the way we're building it this way, and that's the way that Jules chose to do it, so cracking on. Oh, and he's got a little tiny double glazed window into the front cabin. One bit of luck that we did come across was that Jules has got these two big plastic tubs, and they fit beautifully between the wheel arches and the centre pole. We did measure them up, so we knew it was going to fit. That wasn't, we just did that and it turned out to be lucky, but it was quite lucky that the width from the edge of the wheel arch box was enough to fit these two with a CLS piece in the centre. The one really important thing that we need to remember to do is, other than cutting the other piece of this, we need to put a bunch of holes into this bed piece because you need the mattress to breathe. You have to have it breathing. If it doesn't breathe, it will get mouldy. Welcome back, my DIY nomads. I know I look like an idiot, but although it's sunny outside, it is absolutely freezing. So I kept myself wrapped up. I thought I'd do a little update on the old Ford Transit. I haven't really done much on it, to be honest, because I've just been letting Jules and Josie do their own thing. I haven't really been involved. But I thought I'd do a little midway stop, show you what they've done so far, and also where they're at right now. So let's get into it. We've got to this stage. I'd say that basically they're most of the way there. We need to do a few little bits with the electronics, but Jules and Josie are going for like a really super basic, chilled out layout and design. Nothing overly expensive, nothing ridiculously over-engineered. Just a camper van conversion in its like rawest form, which I really appreciate actually. Hi! So excuse the mess, but obviously Jules is working on it. We've got this super rugged, put together with recycled bits of everything kitchen, which is great. Basically this is all like a load of cladding that I had lying around in the workshop. He's cut out the little hole for the micro sink. His stepdad made him a little window to go between the bulkhead and the main compartment. And yeah, we just basically got a little gas tank in here. We're going to box in and make a little gas light locker for it. Here is the cooker, which basically, excuse the squeak. This comes, I need to grab it from the other hand. Right. This comes out of here, and basically this has little feet on it, and to stop it sliding out while driving, we routed out a tiny little groove in there, so that all you do is you slide it in, and then the feet catch in there, and you can't pull it out unless you lift up and pull out. Jules and Josie went on Facebook Marketplace and found this table on there that they've added this newer like bottom leg on, sort of too large. Okay, admittedly with water tanks, as a rule of thumb, you don't need to actually have, if you've got two internal tanks like this, you don't need your waste tank to be as big as your water tank, because in general you drink some of your water or it gets cooked off by the cooking process, blah 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 blah. If your water tank is 25 litres, you won't expend 25 litres of wastewater most times. Like, it's probably quite rare that you do that. So you could probably get away with probably having, like, let's say a 30 litre water tank and maybe like a 20 or maybe even 15, I'd say 20 to 15 litre waste tank. That's something that I've noticed in my experience of ever having a system like this or seeing a system like this. Your waste tank obviously doesn't need to be anywhere near as big. Right, so they've also got wicked little cool box and just, some storage for bits and bobs. The whole top front part of the van here above the driver's side is being carpeted out. Jules has also added a bunch of these loops that have been screwed into the steel on the roof, just as almost like points just to hang stuff on. Like, this rope's just here for any number of reasons, but you could take the rope out and you could hang something else off of here. Just something to think about for the future, that you could use in the future for anything really. The Futon Bed is actually really clever. I want to show you guys that soon. Basically, it's sort of like the futon is now folded up, so it's like, okay, so if this is the back of the van, it goes up like this, folded like that, and then the bed pulls forward and it all flops down, which we'll show you in a bit. Alright, let's just go for it, I reckon. Done! Bed! Done! Wicked! And then basically to help support that corner, you just, one of the rope points comes down, ties in there, and that's your bed. And that's your bed. Right, yeah, so to put it away, basically rope out the corner, tuck that away, let that thing drop off. I mean, if that isn't a fast, quick way to put a bed away, I don't know what is. I mean, that's awesome. The only thing that Jules wants to add to this is some handles to help him pull it out a bit easier, so he doesn't have to grab around the plywood, and also like a wood, a rope like latch, just to keep it in place, so if he breaks it doesn't fly open. Other than that, that is a really simple, super quick bed, which I appreciate a lot. And then in the back we've got these two large storage containers. Jules is still sort of like thinking exactly how this is all going to lay out, which is why, you know, just got some stuff in the back here. But, you know, a good amount of storage, and still a lot of exciting times ahead.